The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Table Topics. If you're watching this show on any other day but a Wednesday, check us out the following week for a new show. Carlos.
You're right.
I did it right one time. Jesus. Gotta be right.
We're back for...
What did they say? Broken clocks right at least one time a week.
Or you can say the same lie too many times that becomes real.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. That's true. Absolutely.
I don't know who said that, but I hear that all the time. So welcome to another show of the Table Topics. We are back in studio again. I'm sorry, last week was school vacation week, and I forgot that I had made other commitments during vacation.
That's fine.
So, but we're back, so it was good. We enjoyed. You enjoyed your.
Yeah, I enjoyed my school vacation week. I worked,
yeah.
Whatever, you know what I mean?
Well,
whatever.
I enjoyed it. Last year I enjoyed it better because I took this week and I went to Vegas. So.
Oh, all right, cool.
So I spent the week in Vegas, and,
cool. Excellent.
And looking through my Facebook, I have a couple of friends that went there on this week.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's true. Yeah, so good for her, right? Good for her.
Yeah, I've got a few friends on Facebook that they. I don't know if they end up meeting each other there, but they were both there too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, cool. Cool.
The weather's.
It's getting there. It's getting there. I mean, I think it's below. It's the temperature's 58. I think when I was driving here, which is fine. It's just the wind.
Yeah.
You know, if the wind would like kind of stop or die down, it'd be a lot better.
The sun is hitting.
Yeah, the sun's hitting.
You know, a couple hours.
The sun now comes up at 5:30, so I'm like wide awake at like 6 o'clock now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can fall back to sleep for a little bit, but it's like, and the winter time or when it's raining, you can stay sleeping until like 9 o'clock on a weekend.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I shut off my alarm clock last week because I didn't have the school, so so I could sleep a little bit better. And it's funny that a few days I wake up early.
Yeah.
I think it's your body gets so used to.
Yeah.
But then on Sunday nights, I turn my clock back on again for the Monday. I wake up on a Monday. I was already 15 minutes late. I never heard the alarm go off.
Yeah, no, that's funny.
I think it's the mentality when you go to bed that you kind of make yourself wake up in time.
No.
I mean, that thing it's like a backup.
Yeah.
Because usually when you go to bed and you have on your head that you need to wake up early, you wake up before the clock.
Yeah. No, you're right. But there were times that you're really tired that you still have to set that.
Oh, Monday
it
was like, I wake up, I just put my pants on my shoes. I don't even know what I put on. I just run out of the door and start picking up the first kids probably 10 minutes late. And by the time that I got my last kid, I was in time for school.
Yeah, there you go.
To drop them in school.
Nice, there you go. Good.
And today, the reason I booked for us to tape at 4:30 is because I got there this morning and they had another run for me.
Oh, wow.
So I did 3 schools this afternoon.
Oh, good for you.
I pick up Stone, brought the kids home, then I went back to LaTurner, bring the kids home, then I went back to Tenzie and bring those kids home.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like...
Wow.
We still need drivers, and and when one has an appointment, doctor's appointment or something else, that's it. Yeah. We all screwed. We have to share people, and pick up. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough next month because I'm going to take a week off, and it's school vacation. It's school week.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's going to be tough because people's going to have to pick up the schools that I drive for. But but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We have a regular meeting Wednesday.
Yep.
So tomorrow night, Wednesday, the 24th.
Okay, yeah, you're right,
The
because next
24th.
week is the, like the 29th and 30th, so yeah, that
Yes.
was this next Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a representative from the Cesar's board
Okay.
there. So I hope that people join us and with your questions, because I bet it's a lot of questions about assessments
Yeah.
out there now.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you look at what some of the properties assessed at now, and I think people got to look at, it's from like last year. You know what I mean? So like if you see a house, say your house is assessed at 320, well, ranches are selling now for like 450 to 480. So they're taking it from like last year. That's when you would probably see a house for 350 or 380. So I think it's going to get worse next year because they're going to be working on what happened now, then, you know.
Well, and another thing that I think they've been based in how much money that office need to collect.
Yeah.
So if they budget, if they're $1 million on the whole on that, so where they going to get their money? They have to appraise your property higher so they can get the money.
Yeah, I don't know if that plays into it, Carlos. I think what basically happens is, let's face it, 50 to 60% of our budget comes from the state still. So that's why we have to take whatever they give us here. You know, you don't want this, then you don't get the money. So I think it's more to play with that, you know, there's a set amount there, and all they do is just readjust the tax rate, you know. So the tax rate, I think now is at like $11 or $12. At one time, it was up to 14. I remember years ago, it was down to 8. So it does, you know, that assessed value comes in, and, you know, whatever it comes out to, they adjust that to the tax rate. So if they, like you said, if you have to have a certain number in, they'll just adjust the tax rate to that, you know.
So, but you think you can sell your house at the price they assess?
Oh, I think you can sell your house. Most people can probably sell their houses for more than what it's assessed at, you know, definitely. Maybe not the multis now. The multis have got up there. I think a lot of the multis are being assessed at 480 to 500. So I think they're kind of getting into that spot right now where I think they'd still sell it for the assessed value, but not like how a lot of the single families are under that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and depend the location too, the neighborhood,
and the
the
location.
streets.
Yeah.
You know, all it depends. It's a lot of facts that plays into it.
You know what I find interesting is, and I think this is going to affect Fall River, is the whole state funding. The state of Massachusetts currently has a hiring freeze, so they're no longer hiring state employees right now. There was a lady that's the head of transportation in Massachusetts. She is looking at ways to create new revenue, and one of the ways is to put tolls at the New Hampshire-Massachusetts border. And if they do it there, you know they're going to put it at the Vermont border, the Rhode Island border, the Connecticut border, and then the New York border. So we've never had tolls coming in to our state from other states. And that's not to say New Hampshire, Maine have, not at the state lines, but they do have them in their states. It's not to say they don't. We also have the Mass Pike. That's a toll road.
But I thought that when we passed one of those, like I'm going to give you an example, the New Hampshire border. When you pass the New Hampshire, on the way to New Hampshire, I thought that dollar was going to go into the New Hampshire side because you're going into New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But when you come back and you hit, before you hit Massachusetts, I thought that coming back, that money was going to come to our state.
No, it's in their border. So they want to create toll booths.
Yeah, but we're leaving the state.
It doesn't matter.
So you pay to leave the state?
Yeah, you pay to leave and you pay to come in. You're paying to go into this state and you're paying when you leave. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's wrong.
Yeah,
you know, I
but
mean,
it's-
you want to charge $2 to get in, then charge $2 to get in.
Yeah.
But whatever we paying to come back, I think that money we're going to be rolling in Massachusetts
Yeah.
highways, not in.
Yeah, no,
you know,
I
New
know,
Hampshire
but
highways.
Massachusetts wants to put that. I'm not for tolls at each state line. You know what I mean?
They tried to put that on the bridge
Yeah.
in Bristol.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
what 10 years ago
Yeah,
or so?
it didn't.
I
it
don't
didn't
think
go
that
well.
worked well.
Yeah, no, it didn't go well there, and I think that they got a lot of pushback. But I think they may be able to implement this because tax revenues are down, because all this COVID money's gone with the state. And I was just watching a video the other night of that transportation secretary. There are people that want her. They're talking to Maura Healey and sending petitions to get rid of her because she's on, like, if you have a F-150 truck, we got plans for you. What plans? Are you going to charge them a certain fee for this, that, the other thing? So it's taxing people is not the...
Seems like, John, that people don't know how to live now without their COVID money. Everybody survived before COVID.
That's what happened because
And
everybody went on
now
a certain
everybody
spending
got so
spree.
used to that COVID money that they want to keep, they wish that COVID comes back every year.
But it's the priorities again. We have a hiring freeze. They're telling us they're going to cut state funding to cities and towns. I mean, they haven't actually said it's official, but we've been hearing this for months. So I'm sure we'll find out probably June 29th, right? Because the new budget comes out July 1st. We'll probably find out June 29th. Yet, they spent or borrowed another $1 billion to house people coming into this country. This does not make any sense.
Yeah,
None of this makes any sense. You know? But people keep on voting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, keep on voting for people that are not looking out for your best interests. That's what we do in Massachusetts. That's what we do in Rhode Island. That's what we do in New York, Connecticut, all these states around here.
And what amazes me is they don't lie. When they come back, they change. They change their voice. They change what the accomplishment's going to be. They change what they're going to do for the people to get the votes.
Yep.
I mean, this person, it's in office for 10 years. Never did what he said or what she said it was going to do. Why you believe that they're going to do it now?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
You know?
I mean, it's when they passed that federal thing for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, people are like, when these people go back to their offices, they're going to be mad. No, they're not. Not in Massachusetts. We just like whatever. You know what I mean? You give people more. We have plenty of money. You know.
Talking about taxes and increases, water department. You think that's going to pass?
I think it's going to pass, and I'm not. Again, I don't. What's happening in this country now is that, you know, I was telling you, my car insurance went up $400, my house insurance went up $400. This goes up. This goes up. So when you get these increases, you're like, you know, it's just another increase, but they all add up to on people at a time. What I did was I took my last quarter's water bill, and I included the increase. And I'll be honest with you, I thought, and maybe because I see 25%, I thought it was going to be a big difference. But it really wasn't. I think it was like $25 for the quarter.
For the quarter.
Yeah, so I paid, the last bill was $174, and with the increase, it'd be $199. So, but again, you know, I'll take just a single, I'll just take a multifamily, okay? Multifamily in Fall River right now, you're going to pay roughly $7,000 a year in taxes, all right? Then your house insurance is anywhere from $3,800 to $3,800 to $4,800, depending on, you know, what you have in your house. If you have space heaters, they're going to charge you more money, all this different stuff, right? Then your water bill on a 3-family, I'm going to be really conservative and say $1,000 a year. I know people pay a lot more than that, but you know, it depends on how many people live in the apartments.
And if you have kids, and you know, how big is the family, and
so if you figure water, insurance, taxes, just that right there, you have to put away $850. All right, $850 just to cover those bills right there. So now, if you add in a mortgage of $600,000 or $500,000, that's another $4,000 a month. So you have now $4,800 a month that you have to come up with And if you're charging people each floor $1,200, right?
You're going to break even.
You're not even breaking even. So that's why they got to charge $1,500 and $1,600. Now, we're not even talking about now repairs. Because on that, when you have, you know, sometimes people are good people, sometimes people have not great people.
So why is the people that don't have a mortgage taking the house from their parents? It's paid for. They still cannot afford to keep the houses.
I don't get that.
I don't understand.
I don't understand that. It just depends on how people handle their money. You know what I mean? I know someone that had a 3-family they inherited, and when the last person died, they quit their job. I don't need to work now. What do you mean you don't need to work? I have 2 people paying rent.
Yeah, you're barely going to pay for the house.
The
expenses.
Yeah, you got to pay something.
So how are you going to survive now?
No, well, that's how some people's mentality are with this. But then there are some people. It's like, hey, if I can get $1,200, why not? Why can't I get $1,200? Why should I subsidize to someone where then there are people on the other spectrum that if they can do it, they're going to do it. Why? Sometimes it's better to get somebody to pay you $800 or $700 or $900. They're going to be very grateful, so they're not going to be like tenants that are going to bother you. Oh, you know what I mean? You need to come light my furnace.
And it's not just they're going to bother you. Is the fact that they're going to last there 3-4 months. On the second month, they're already late. On the third month, they don't even show up. On the 4th month, they don't even to go by the front door because they can see you. They go by the back door. You know, so, and by the time you turn around, they're not paying for 6 months. Now you're on a hole. You know?
And you know what, Carlos, some people that are older or have owned the property, they inherited it, a lot of times they keep the apartments vacant. They don't want to be bothered with that. They're like,
and some of them, they just put that as a loss. You know,
it's just,
I'm losing money with the house. So
they just don't want to. They figure the $700 or $800 they get is not worth the aggravation, or even $1,500. It's not worth the aggravation. It's going to be if the people are not good that you got to throw them out.
And 80% of the people that it's forced out, they destroyed the apartment.
That's the other thing.
They destroyed the apartment. So whatever they're going to get back from payments that the judge going to say you need to pay them $100 a month, okay, the $3,000 that you own them, those $3,000 not enough to fix whatever they broke on the apartment.
And you'll be lucky if you ever get that money back. You'll never get it back. I would just kiss that goodbye. You know, so it's not an easy thing, but it's all supply and demand. So I just read that I guess on Hartwell Street, they're going to be building like a 6-story high-rise there, and it's going to be 100 apartments. So I know a lot of people get mad, and it's like, well, it's going to be market rate, whatever. But the more you bring in, the more apartments you bring in, it's going to kind of free that up. The supply and demand thing, it's going to free that up. Those maybe people that are living in a 3-family, they'll sell it. You know what I mean? And
my opinion is whatever the waiting list is from people in Fall River are not looking for those expensive apartments.
No, I agree.
For cheap.
I agree.
Those investors that are putting all the marble kitchens and all that fancy stuff, they have a waiting list for outside people from Fall River. From people from Boston, people from Providence, whatever, you know, but they're not, that's 2 complete lists. Those that cannot afford, and are on the waiting list for a cheap apartment, they end up on the side of the highways where we see them.
And you know, this is my feeling, only because I can go back to 1987, 1986, when I had a 2-bedroom and a 3-family, I was paying $285 a month. Those days are long gone. They're gone. So, and I've told my wife this, if we didn't own a house and we were looking for apartments and it's like $1,700, $1,800 to live in a 3-family that's not even remodeled, it's from the 70s, I'd say, you know what, we got to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? I would move. There are places still in the country that you can move and the prices are half what they are here. You can go down to South Carolina and get like a really nice house with a 2-car garage for like $250, $280. You can't even, and Fall River now, you can't even get a decent house for under $475 anymore.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy. So eventually what happens is with anything, people keep on moving to a cheaper place. Now, we're cheaper than Brockton, we're cheaper than Taunton, we're cheaper than, all these different towns. So people are coming down here, and that's what's going to eventually, the people that are living here, they'll have to go somewhere else. I understand that they lived here, but nobody's guaranteed, because this was a cheap place for so long, we're not guaranteed that anymore. The thing I look about is that the people coming in, renting these apartments, it's good because if they have disposable income, first of all, they're not going to be taxing our fire department. They're going to be not taxing our police department, our ambulance services, our school system. So it's going to save, and they're going to bring money in that will bring in restaurants and different things that'll create jobs as well. So for too long, and I know people, now because it's so expensive to live, it's expensive to live everywhere, but, we had, just going back 10 years, it was really, the majority of people here were like low income. I'd say probably 70% or 60%. A city can't survive on that. We got to have a little bit of give and take. We still have 30% of our units are low income. So that's still a very high amount. I don't know of too many towns or cities that have that breakdown. So it's got to be a happy medium. I feel for the people that, hey, you were paying $700, $800. Mainly I feel for the older people because they don't have that Social Security income. But it's,
No, and the sad part is the person that lives in there for so many years, the apartment is still the same.
Yeah. Yep.
Still the same apartment, still the same windows, still the same shower. It's not that the owner remodeled the apartment and now it's going to charge double.
Yeah.
It's the same as was last month.
Yep.
But now this month I have to double my rent.
Yeah. And this is the thing that kind of gets me with this, okay? So this state is a blue state, and I'm just bringing up politics for that. So the president is a Democrat. So I don't understand why it's so hard for New York, Massachusetts, pick up the phone and say, this needs to stop. We can't survive anymore with you doing this. So the other thing that's making things expensive is when you bring in 4 to 5 million people in a matter of 4 years that have no place to live and there isn't housing, what do you think happens? Rents go up as well. So I don't understand why Maura Healey, the governor of Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, why aren't they saying this is unsustainable? Unsustainable, you need to stop it. You're a part of our party, correct this.
And something and if you go back on those days, one thing that you hear about the illegals is they come here to take our jobs.
Yeah.
Now they're here to take our homes.
Yeah. Wow.
The jobs and the homes. So, I don't know. It's not an easy
No, it's not
fix.
an easy thing. But my thing is, if there's power in these parties, which I think they're both the same, because these Republicans voted for this bill when people can't afford to live. They're sending money to a war that Ukraine, they don't put this in the news, but they've lost over 500,000 people.
Yeah.
500,000 of the people, and then probably another 3 or 4 million left the country to go Poland and the surrounding countries. So we're giving them money for what? What are we giving them money for? It's not working. It's like us invading Mexico.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're taking a small country and a big country, But that's the thing that I wish that they would look at. It's not a blue thing. It's not a red thing. It's like, what is the right thing? And neither party is doing the right thing right now.
And years ago, we used to be more firm when we talked about the red state or the blue state.
Yeah.
But lately, you cannot say that the state it's 100% secure on blue or red. They change.
Yeah.
One election to another, they change.
Yeah, some of them have. Some of them, you're right, have. But states have changed too with immigration. There are things on TV that you see all the time where they're like, we need to send a certain number of people here, certain number of people here. So Missouri's what do they call a toss-up state. So is there a method to the madness that they're sending people to this area that's a red area, this prairie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not any kind of conspiracy theory. They're admitting they're doing this stuff now. So I don't know.
They should have used that technique back in 1914 when Titanic. You know, a lot of people survive if they defy people by the boats.
I don't even want to get into that with you because that's a whole other rabbit hole that I've read about. You know what I mean?
So yeah, things as you read, but sometimes it's not even worth it to talk about.
That's it.
But it was another show, very interesting. Going to the meeting. We have meeting tonight.
5 o'clock. Yeah, I'm going to try to get
City Council meeting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Maplewood Association is meeting tonight too. It's too bad they had to move the meeting this month, but I will be there next month, and I'll be at yours next week on Monday.
Yep, absolutely.
So until then, have a good night.
Yep, have a good one.